กราบนมัสการค่ะ
เจริญพรแม่ชี
Good afternoon, Long P.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let us pay homage to the Triple Gem. อะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธภควาพุทธังภควันตังอภิวาเทมิสวาคาโตภควตาธัมโมธัมมังนามาสามิสุปฏิปันโนภควโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนามามิ กับนมัสการหลวงพี่เควินนะครับ
ครับเอาละครับอาจารย์
เจริญพรแม่ชีมนวลีนะแม่ชีสรัญพัฒน์
นมัสการค่ะ
say hi to Janice Tan and YY Ong นะ
Good afternoon.
or
Good afternoon.
so now I'm asking พระอาจารย์วรวุฒิ to share my screen นะ Okay.
Panchavakkhiya พัทธวัคคีย์
Now I'm at the International Meditation Center at Sansai Sansai district, and today we are preparing for tomorrow a novice ordination samanen. So they're going to be about 53 boy student from Montfort school, and there will be 17 girls. They are coming to ordain then as seminary. So in the morning we were busy arranging and train them for tomorrow ordination ceremony. But now it's break time, so we can continue our class. All right, so last previous class we cannot finish chapter 7 because time's over a lot of time. So I would like to continue a little more on chapter 7. So last time we talk about the Yassa. So hope you now know who Yassa is. So Yassa, he's one of the important person in the Buddha history, to help in the first page of the propagation of Buddhism. So that his friend became monk, and the Buddha have more follower to propagate the teaching. And then the Buddha went to meet the 30 rich young company who looking for a girl who stole their belonging. And the Buddha praised these 30 young men. And the Buddha has more follower for his propagation. Now, another important group of the people that the Buddha went to teach and convert into Buddhist monk. So that is the story about the three Jatila. The three Jatila or Chadin. In Thai we call Chadin. Chadin is those who living like hermits, so it's like hermits. And these three Chatila, they worship fire. And they worship fire. And in the Buddha history, said that the Buddha went to these three Chatila. So three of them are the brother. We call three brother fire worship. And the blessed one wandered from place to place, came to Uruvela sub-district. So they live at three brother Jatila name Uruvela Kassapa, Nati Kassapa, the younger brother, and the Kaya Kassapa is the little brother. So Uruvela Kassapa is the big brother among the three Jatila. And the Jatila Uruvela Kassapa was ship leader foremost first, and hired over 500 Jatila. So the bigger brother Uruvela Kassapa, he has 500 followers. So his disciple 500 followers. And Nati Kassapa was the chief of 300 of Jatila. So Nati Kassapa, the younger brother, has 300 followers. And the little brother Kaya Kassapa, he has 200 Jatila. So totally three of them has totally 1,000 followers. If they're all three brother. So can anyone tell me why the Buddha decide to go to the three Jatila for in his purpose? Anyone have heard, or maybe have you take a look at in the books already? Is there any reason why the Buddha have to go to these Jatila? No. What do you think? Okay, any idea, Mechi? So the Buddha do something.
Because
There must be a
sorry.
reason, right? So okay.
Because three of them is very famous at that time and have a lot of follower. And the Buddha thought that he had the Buddha thought that he has to defeat all these three Jatila first, so that all the people around that all the people who worship them will change the attitude about the Buddhism and about the Buddha. So the Buddha think that he has to defeat all these three brothers first, and then we'll go to Makata, so that can teach his Dhamma. It's easier to teach Dhamma, and everybody and every people would accept him more easily, I think.
Very good point. So we will keep that in mind. Okay, we'll come back to that point later. So let's a little more go take a look more on and the sermon that the Buddha taught. I gave to the three Jatila. So in detail about the three brother and the three Jatila, the Buddha, the way to convince, especially the big brother, and the Buddha went to the Uluwela Kassapa, the big brother. So it wasn't easy for him. It's not Uluwela Kassapa didn't accept the Buddha immediately that he is the enlightened one or the Buddha's already, So he the Buddha also know that he would not accept him as his teacher right away, because I'm also a teacher, so you still have that concept we call mana, so so that I'm also a teacher, so I have to make sure that the one who I'm going to follow is truly the one who Arahanta or enlightened one. And at first, the Buddha went to the Uluwela Kassapa resident, and he asked the Uluwela Kassapa to stay there. And Uluwela Kassapa would like to know how great these monk, these Samanayas. So then Uluwela Kassapa told the Buddha to sleep in the hall where there's we call a naga. The naga. The naga is we call fierce, the king of the snake. So to expect that the naga would kill the Buddha. But the Buddha use his psychic power in order to overcome the naga. So at night there were the Uluwela Kassapa saw that the fire burning inside the hall. So he thought that maybe the Buddha was killed by these nagas already. So and in the morning the Buddha came out from that halls and show and put the naga inside his bowl, So now the naga become a little snake, and the Buddha was able to defeat that naga by his psychic power. So Uluwela Kassapa is a little surprised. Oh, this samana has something special, we call ability that he could overcome and defeat the naga. And he also thought that maybe he's not a Alahanda, even though he has that kind of psychic power, So that's that ego wasn't removed from his mind yet. And fire to its keep is not disagreeable me, great samana, but there is we call it savage naga, or a serpent, king of great magical power, a deadly venomous serpent, let him do no harm to you. So that is the way how Uluwela Kassapa tests the Buddha. So there are also many other different ways the Buddha trying to show his enlightenedhood. So when it's flooding, the Buddha practiced walking meditation, and that flooding could do no harm to the Buddha. So, and finally the Buddha talked to the Uluwela Kassapa. That's why you Uluwela Kassapa, you keep thinking that you are the enlightened one. Actually, you're not. And the Buddha Uluwela Kassapa, how this samana know his mind, you know? So then he gave up his ego and accepted Buddha as his teacher. And that is the way how the Buddha convinced the Uluwela Kassapa into his follower. Then the Buddha taught the Uluwela Kassapa at the sermon called the burning. In Pali called the Atita Priya Sutta. It's a teaching talking about burning, because the Jatila, they worship fire, and the Buddha taught about the what is hot, and the Buddha said that the eye, bhikkhu, is burning. Visible things are burning. The mental impression based on the eyes are burning, and the contact of the eye with the visible thing is burning. The sensation produced by the contact of the eyes with visible thing, be it present, is the painful, be it either present nor painful. That also is burning. With what fire is burning? I declare unto you that it is burning with the fire of lust, with the fire of anger, with the fire of ignorance. It is burning with birth, decay, death, grief, lamentation, suffering, and dejection and despair. So the Buddha gave this sermon on burning, and later on he continued to give the sermon on Four Noble Truths. And then the Uluwela Kassapa attained, got the eye of truth, and later on he attained enlightenment. And so after the big brother Uluwela Kassapa became a monk, so the Uluwela Kassapa shaved his hair and took off his Jatila clothes and flowed into the river. So the resident of the three brothers, so the lower, there are a younger brother, that is Nati Kassapa, saw that, oh, what happened to my big brother? So there must be something wrong, something trouble happened to him. So then he went up to see his brother and found that his bigger brothers already became monk. And the little brother Kaya Kassapa found that he saw the same as Nati Kassapa. So what happened to my brother? And he went up and found that both of his brothers already became monk, and Kaya Kassapa also followed his brother. And then the Buddha now have another 1,003 follower from teaching the three Jatila. So the reason why the Buddha went to convert the three Jatila into Buddhist monk, as Meshi Monwali said earlier, that these three Jatila are very respected by the ruler of the country at that time. So they are considered as a spiritual leader and very respected by many different group of people, especially high-ranked people at that time. So that is the main reason that if he could convert these three Jatila into his follower, it would be easier and it would be a good move for his propagation to the teaching. So he don't have to using because having those leader who are influence people, it's easier to propagate the teaching. So that is come from the Buddha ways of teaching, that he wisely find the way, easiest way to propagate the teaching. So he want to teach first to the three Jatila. Okay, so that is the story about the three Jatila. So let us now move on to chapter 8. Chapter 8. Okay, chapter 8 going to Rajagaha city. So after he already covered want to convert the three Jatila. Okay, so the last class we in chapter 7 we learning about when the Buddha instruct Yasa, and the sermon that the Buddha taught to Yasa is called the Anupuppikata. Anupuppikata. Anupuppikata is about the step-by-step teaching, from easy to we call profound teaching. So the Buddha often taught those people who are laymen Anupuppikata in order to have the eye of wisdom. And the Buddha, the first male devotee, and the first female devotee, and the 54 Yasa friend ordination, the first 60 one Buddhist missionary after Yasa friend became monk, and the ordination by the threefold declaration of taking refuge, and the 30 rich young companion, and 3 Jatila. So this is all in the chapter 7 that we talked and discussed last week. So let's take a little review from the last class. What is the name of the sermon the Lord Buddha gave to Yasa? Why on? And
I will need to find the answer first.
Anu, right? So what are they? What are the five? What are the five? Anu Bupikatha. Is that right? The sermon. So it starts from Thana. Thana Katha is it's a teaching about giving or practice generosity and to letting go of the stinginess. And that is the beginning how the Buddha taught to the layman, and to let go of that self. And the Buddha, the second stage of the Anubbhikatha is the Buddha will talk about the Silakatha. The benefits of having a moral life is about morality. Like abstaining from killing, abstaining from stealing. Overall, the best giving by having a moral life is practice non-violence, or practicing, we call a compassion and loving kindness towards ourselves and others. So that is the way how the Buddha, when the Buddha talked about in the Sila Katha. Sila Katha is about letting go of the anger, letting go of the, like by learning how to forgive. And this third stage, and the Buddha talked about the happiness from pleasure, the heavenly pleasure, and that is how a heavenly pleasure in how good heavenly pleasure, and the greatest pleasure is pleasure in the heaven. And he continued in the fourth state, and he talked about the even those we call greatest pleasure in heavenly pleasure also not impermanent. And he talked about the disadvantage of the pleasure. So he talked about that those pleasure is like a trap in the world. So when the person become addicted to the pleasure, so that can ruin that person's life. So that's why Buddha always encourage, and he press on enter monkhood, we call renunciation, and the five state of the teaching on Anubbhikatha was that entering monkhood is a way to we call letting go of the worldly pressure and attain to the we call jhana, or absorptive meditation. And who are the first male and female devotee of Buddhism? Anyone remember? Don't P. Kevin. Do you?
I
Who
think
were
the first
from
meal
the last
devotee
class?
Yasa. Yeah, Yasa.
First male devotee.
First meal.
Male and female.
The
Yes,
first meal. First meal, I think Yasa, and female Gotami.
Mm,
No,
no,
are you
มหา
sure?
ปราสาทโกตามี
no,
No?
no. The parents of Yasa,
So those are the
then-
parent of Yasa.
the parents of Yasa. Father and mother of Yasa.
The first male, the father, the Yasa father, and the female
His
devotee
mother.
were the mother and the Yasa former wife. So that's why a female devotee, there were two. First two female. So
First two.
the first who take the triple gem as refuge, the Yasa father. So this is the recap from last week, last chapter. who are the three Jalita brother. So we talked recently about the three Jalita. So Ulu Vela Kassapa, Nati Kassapa, and Kaya Kassapa. So they live beside the river. As I told you earlier, that's when the big brother Ulu Vela Kassapa shaved their hair, and they flow their hair and rope along the river. And the little brother saw that, oh, what happened? These are the Nati Kassapa. Remember that this is the robe of my brother. So he thought that there must be something happened to his brother, and they went up to see and found that his brother became the Buddha follower already, and both of the two brothers, Nati Kassapa and Kaya Kassapa, follow their bigger brother. So there's some more detail about the how the Buddha propagated teaching in Uluvela's sub-district, So when the Buddha went to the city, at first, king and high-rank people at that time didn't know who the Buddha is, but they know three of the Jatila, because they are very famous: Ulu Vela Kassapa, Nati Kassapa, and Kaya Kassapa. But they didn't know that who is this Samana, who is the Buddha. So to clarify that now the Buddha or the teacher of these three brothers, and the Buddha ordered the Ulu Vela Kassapa to show his psychic power, to calm the cloud. So, and the Ulu Vela Kassapa flew into the air and came down to the Lord Buddha and paid homage. And then he flew higher and came back for the second time, and he flew even higher and came down and paid homage to the Buddha. So one is clear by the eyes of the people, and now people know that, oh, this Samana, he is the Buddha, Then people pay attention on his teaching, and he converts so many people into to got the end of some attained the Sotapanna, some became monk, in Ulu Vela Kassapa. Okay, so this is some more recap on the Anupupikatha, or Anupupikatha. I think this is a very, very, this teaching is very useful when we go to practice meditation, So Buddha, in private meditation, Buddha said that we should recall to these 5 things in order to let the mind become purer and purer. So to think about dana, so what the Buddha start talking about the giving, because that is the beginning to letting go of the stinginess. So when we do like Buddhist people in the early morning, so we have a ceremony when the Buddhist monk go to collect food and people start offering. So that is a tradition that had been practiced for a long time. So in the Buddha time also, the Buddha went to collect food is not to only to receive the offering from the people, but indirectly to let the people to have a chance to practice dana or giving. And that is the beginning of to letting go of the impurity of the mind, that stinginess. And the second, it's a Silakatha, talk on morality and righteousness. So like 5 precepts, for example: abstain from killing, abstain from stealing, abstain from sexual misconduct, abstain from telling lying and abstain from intoxication. Yeah. And he talked about that this practice is not only we call it's not about the rule, but it's about to train the mind to let go of the unhealthy behavior, unhealthy, unskillful thought, unskillful speed, unskillful action. So by practicing that, we are practicing cultivating the Dharma. So then he would talk on the Sakka Katha, talk on heavenly pleasure. So to let the people understand that the ultimate, the worldly ultimate happiness, that is heavenly pleasure, And he talked about the different realm of how great that happiness is. According to the Buddhist teaching, we have 6 different pleasure realm. From like each state have find their happiness. But those happiness, Buddha mentioned those pleasure also not permanent. Then he continued to talk on the Kammatinawaka and Kammatikawaka Katha, and talk on the disadvantage. We call the disadvantage of sensual pleasure, that how pleasure could in turn harm those who are addicted, who indulge with pleasure. So it's like a fishing, so it's like people like fish, and pleasure is like that fishing man that's who trapping the fish, similar to the worldly pleasure. And Buddha talk on that. Sometimes he compare like this pleasure is like a bone. It's like a bone for a dog, So the dog just keep biting the bone, and there's no meat, And imagine the feeling of a dog who hungry and would like to eat the bone, But he couldn't fulfill his desire, but he had to keep biting the bone. He's similar, he compared to the sensual pleasure, because the nature of desire that is not enough, So and also many other metaphor that the Buddha compare to the sensual pleasure. So that is one of an example. It's like how to say, it's like a comb. The traditional comb is like fire. Fire that's a person have to carry, that's a comb fire, and have to have that light. And at the same time, he have to smell the smoke from the fire. So he cannot let go of that fire because he needs the light, the brightness of the comb. So that is the comparison on the Kammatikawaka, talk on the disadvantage of sensual pleasure. And the Buddha finally would talk about the Nekkhamma Nissa Sakatha. So he would talk about on the benefits of renouncing sensual pleasure. That is, he talked about as entering go forth, renouncing from the sensual pleasure is like a free from prison. He said as it like a free oneself from prison. Free oneself is like a sickness, or it's like a sick person who already recover, and it's like a person who are in debt, who in debt, that you borrow other people and you have to return their money. It's like a person who already returned the money and you no longer have that worry, So similar, he compared it is like when a person renounce from the sensual pleasure, he will have that freedom. So when the Buddha continue from Tana and to the renouncing from the sensual pleasure, and finally when that person mind's ready to absorb and listen to the deeper Dharma talk. He would teach about the Four Noble Truths, about the suffering, cause of suffering. And after that, the people will understand and become, we call enlightened, Arahanta, like Yasa, listening to the Anubuppikatha for the second time. So the second time he was able to free his mind and become the Arahanta. So on the other hand, his father attained the Sotapanna, has the eye of truth. So this is what happened after he taught the 30 fellow. After the Buddha have 61 follower, and he ordered the 60 bhikkhu to go in different direction to propagate the teaching. And he himself, the Buddha, went to the Rajagaha city or Makata religion. So that is going to be about the story in chapter 8, when the Buddha went to the Rajagaha city. All right, so let us have a little survey before the class. So does anybody know what is the name of the first monastery in Buddhism? No? Anyone knows the name? No? And who is the donor of the first monastery? No? Okay. Who are the two chief disciples of the Buddha? You found two chief disciples. And what are the two chief disciples of disciple foremost of? So what are foremost of?
Foremost.
Kevin. So do you know who is the two chief disciple of the Buddha? Who become on the right and on the left? In Thai we call Ekatakka, was his foremost and who helped a lot in propagating and the teaching of the Buddha. So, and in this chapter we're going to explore and learn about how the Buddha what happened when he staying at the Rajagaha city. So from Uluvela sub-district, he traveled to the Rajagaha city, and there's many incident, many story in the Buddha's story happening. Okay, so do you remember when the Buddha he first renounced himself from a princely life and became a wandering ascetic? So that's when he arrived at the Rajagaha city, and there was a king named Bimbisara, and came to him and told him that he would share his kingdom to him. But the Buddha, Prince Siddhartha, he rejected. Oh, I'm not looking for the worldly king. I'm searching for the truth of life and the way how to become the Buddha. And the King Bimbisara, he declared that if he found the truth, please come and teach me as the first one. So now the Buddha have attained and achieved the enlightenment, and the Buddha remember that the King Bimbisara has told him that he would like to invite him to come to teach him. So that time, the king Bimbisara, he made, he had made a five wish that he wished the Buddha come to his kingdom. So the first wish that what he wished, he said, he wished that may I get coronation and be the king of Magadha land. So that's what previously he wished. May the one who is Arhanta, rightly self-awakened, come to my Magadha legend. May I come to sit near to Arhanta. May the Arhanta preach me. May I realize the Dharma of Arhanta. So then the Buddha went there and the king Bimbisara, I had a chance to listen to the teaching of the Buddha, and he finally got the eye of wisdom. So he attained the Sotapanna, and now his 5 wishes already fulfilled. So this is the words that said in the Tipitaka, in the text, and I copied this and would like to show you what the king Bimbisara said. In former day, previously in the old day, Lord, when I was a prince, so when he was a prince, he used to make these wishes. I wish, that I might be inaugurated as king. This was my first wish, Lord. This is fulfilled. So now he already the king. And might then the holy absolute, some Buddha come into my kingdom. This was my second wish, Lord. It is fulfilled now. Even the second one's already fulfilled. And might I pay my respect to him, the blessed one. This was my third wish. So may I sit close to him. So now the Buddha is already there for him. And might he, the blessed one, preach his doctrine. And this was my fourth wish, Lord. It is fulfilled now. So the Buddha gave the sermon and the teaching to him. And might I understand his, the blessed one, doctrine. This was my fifth wish, Lord. This is fulfilled now. So all the 5 wishes of Bimbisara now is already fulfilled. And that is what previously King Bimbisara, he in the formal day that he wished that 5 things to happen in his life. And allowed to receive resident. So then while the Buddha staying in the Magadha kingdom that ruled by the Bimbisara king. So the King Bimbisara invite the Buddha and the bhikkhu or the monk, the group of the monk, to have food. So when the Buddha finished his meal and cleaned his bowl, his hand, and sat down near him, sitting near the Magadha King Saniya Bimbisara thought, where I find a place for the blessed one to live in, not too far from the town and not too near. So that's what the King Bimbisara, he would like to offer a place. So that's later became the first monastery, the first temple in Buddhism. So by that intention, he looking for a suitable place to let the monk stay. And then he considered where there's a peaceful place, a proper place, and that is not too crowded and hidden from people and fit for a retired life. So after he considered and he found that a place that he have called the Ulu Vela. So that is come to be the first temple in Buddhism. So the ulu vela is a bamboo glove, It's not really the temple. It's rather be like a forest. So that means the first temple in Buddhism is a bamboo glove. And there is Veluwana, my pleasure garden, which is not too far from the town and not too near, suitable for going and coming down to retired life. What if I were to make an offering of Veluwana pleasure garden to the fraternity of Bhikkhu with the Buddha at its head? So then the King Bimbisara took a golden vessel and water and pour the water over the Buddha hand. So that is a tradition that one make an offering. That's he poured the water over the Buddha hand and dedicate and offer the garden to the Buddha, and said. And he said, I give this Veluwana pleasure garden, Lord, to the fraternity of Bhikkhu with the Buddha at its head. So it has come to be the first monastery in Buddhism offered by King Bimbisara. And the name of that temple, place called Veluwana. And the blessed one accept the Arama. Arama means park, the bamboo park. Then the blessed one, after having taught, incited, animated, and gladdened the Makata king Bimbisara by religious discourse, rose from his seat and went away. And in consequence of this event, the Buddha, after having delivered a religious discourse, thus addressed the Bhikkhu, I allow you, Bhikkhu, to receive the donation of Arama pot. From then on, the monk and the Bhikkhu was allowed to receive the donation, donate the park donation. If anyone offer a pot, so the monk can accept the park. Now, before that, there's no shasakhet, Okay, from in Makatha again, the ordination of Sariputta and Moggallana. So these two are the two chief disciples of the Buddha. So Sariputta considered as a first chief disciple on the right, and Moggallana is considered as a chief disciple of the Buddha on the left. So let's take a look on about the story of the Sariputta and Moggallana. The ordination of the Sariputta and Moggallana. Okay, so the Sariputta and Moggallana has a fall before becoming entering monkhood, before becoming a Buddha disciple. They were not called Sariputta and Moggallana, but their former name were Upatissa and Golitha. Upatissa later became a Sariputta, and Golitha later became Moggallana. So they too both are close friends. They were from a very rich, and they're from a wealthy family. So they enjoy their life regularly as a wealthy man. So they travel and see and go to the fest and see the whatever where there are fests or party. They go and join, to see the dancer, the singer. So one day, while they're enjoying looking at the dancer on the stage, So the Upatissa got had a thought that these people, so it's like because he is white, So these people from now on, 20 years, 30 years, they're no longer pretty, and they will no longer beauty. So they'll get old, and eventually die. So, and he told his thought to Golita. Oh, I thought the same as you. So then they together talk that's why we don't looking for something more meaningful, just come to have and looking at this pretty and beautiful dancer, woman. So, and then they both went to join, went to join the Sanchaya. Sanchaya was one of the well-known teacher at the Buddha time. So Sanchaya. Sanchaya is one of the Sikh well-known teacher at that time. Sanchaya Paripachaka or Paripachok. Paripachok means a wandering ascetic who travels and wander. And Upatissa and Golita went to join the Sanchaya and follow Sanchaya as their teacher and staying at the Rajagaha with a great retinue of Paripachaka. So Sanchaya also had many followers who following him, and with totally 250 followers, 50 Paripachaka, a wandering ascetic. At that time, Sariputta and Makkalana, two young Brahmanas, led a religious life as followers of Sanchaya, Paripachaka. These had given their word to each other. He who first attained to the immortal, or amata, or nirvana, shall tell the other one. So they now separate. So if any one of them found the immortal or nirvana, come and tell one another. And so that's the commitment and the promise that they made before they depart. And one day, Venerable Asachi. So remember the Asachi. Asachi is one of the five ascetic. Five ascetic. So one day, the Venerable Asachi, in the afternoon, having put his went to alms round in the city. He wore his robe and having alms bowl, and with his savara on, jivara, and entered the city of Rajagaha for alms. His walking turned back, regarding, looking, driving back and stretching outwards a decrease. So it means he looked very, very peaceful. He looked very different from the other ascetic, So then the Upatissa, Upatissa or Sariputta, Upatissa saw the Venerable Asachi having a very well mannered. So this monk might have something special, might have some Dhamma quality. So then he approached the Venerable Asachi, and he thought that indeed, said that indeed this person is one of those people who are the worthy one Arahanta in the world, or he have entered the path of Arahantaship. What if I were to approach this bhikkhu and ask him? Then the Sariputra approached the Asachi and start having a conversation. So this is a conversation between Asachi and Upatissa or Sariputra. So, and he asks, in whose name, friend, have you retired from the world? Who is your teacher? Whose doctrine do you profess? So it means that who your teacher? So what your teacher teach you? So then Venerable Asachi, the Venerable Asachi told the Upatissa that there is friend, the great Samana Sakaya Buddha, and ascetic of the Sakaya tribe. So the blessed one name have I retired from the world. The blessed one, is my teacher. And his blessed one doctrine do I profess. And I follow, simply I follow his teaching. So he told that his teacher is a great Samana Sakaya Buddha. Then the Upatissa or Sariputta continue to ask, and what is the doctrine? So what is the Dharma? What is the teaching that you learn from your teacher? And says, sir, with your teacher hold and preach to you. Then Venerable Asachi told the Upatissa that I am only young disciple. So he's very humble. He very humble, even though at that time Asachi already the Arahanta, but he said that I am only a young disciple. Friend, I have but recently received the ordination. I just became his the Samana Sakaya Buddha. I'm young, I'm new, and I have newly adopted this doctrine. So I just enter to his teaching and discipline, doctrine and discipline. I cannot explain to you the doctrine in detail. I cannot tell you in detail, but I will tell you in short what I mean. So then Venerable Sariputra thought, well, he said, well, just tell me. So he said, well, friend, tell me much or little as you like, but be sure to tell me the spirit of the doctrine I want, but the spirit, why do you make so much of the letter? So Sariputta said that, please tell me, you don't have to say a lot. Just tell me what the core teaching, but be sure that the teaching that is come from the core teaching of your teacher. Then Venerable the Asachi told the Sariputta, Upatissa, so the Dharma that he heard from the Buddha. So he said that of all objects which proceed from a cause, the Tathagata has explained the cause, and he has explained their cessation also. This is the doctrine of the great Samana. So, okay, so let me, the sounds coming. So this is what Venerable Asachi told the Sariputta. So after he heard this sentence, the Upatissa or Sariputta immediately got the eye of truth, became Sotapanna by only this sentence, this short sentence. So this is a short form of the core teaching of the Buddha. So it is short form of the Four Noble Truths. So the Asachi explained in the very short form of the cause and effect, said that all subjects would proceed from cause. Tathagata explained the cause, and he has explained their cessation also. So this is the doctrine of great samana. So, and Sariputta, after have heard this text, obtained the pure and spotless eye of the truth. So that means he became the Sotapanna. Then what came into his mind was that whatsoever is subject to condition of origination is subject also to the condition of cessation. So if this alone, the doctrine, now you have reached up to the state aware or sorrow-shed, which has remained unseen through many myriads of kappa, of the past. And that is what came, what popped up in his mind, Sariputta. So after he listened to the teaching from Venerable Asachi, Sariputta now become the stream enterer, become the Sotapanna. Then he would like to share this teaching to his close friend. So he remembered that they made a promise that if anyone found the truth of the teaching, would have to come back and tell each other. So he went to see the Moggallana or Kolita to tell what he saw. And when Moggallana Kolita saw the Sariputta from afar, so he looked different, and he asked his friend Sariputta that you countenance friend is serene. So you look very serene, very peaceful, and your complexion is pure and bright. Have you then really reached the immortal friend? So what the Kolita asked the Sariputta. So, and the Upatissa answered, yes, friend, I have attained the immortal. So it means he already found the teaching. And how, friend, have you done so? And how did you realize that truth? So then Sariputta told that I saw a friend, Bhikkhu named Asachi, who went through Rajagaha forearm, but I will tell you in short what it means. So he just remember what he heard from the Venerable Asachi and tell the Kolita. So tell me much or more little alike, but sure to tell me the spirit of the doctrine I want, but the spirit, why do you make so much of the letter? Then the Sariputta said, then friend, the Bhikkhu Asachi pronounced the following Dhamma, the Dhamma sentence. He said that of all subjects which proceeds from a cause, the Tathagata or the Buddha has explained the cause, and he has explained their cessation also. This is the doctrine of the great samana. So he just copied what he heard from Asachis and continue tell the Mokkhalana. So same, the Mokkhalana also immediately got the eye of truth, attained the Sotapanna. Then Sariputta and Mokkhalana together. Now they know that where they have to go, to see the Buddha, to join the community. And they went back to their teacher, Sanchaya, and invite Sanchaya to go to join the Buddha. But Sanchaya, with his conceit and ego, he know that the Buddha, he is the enlightened one, but he cannot give up his ego, and he don't want to go and follow the Buddha. And the Sanchaya just told Sariputta, you too go and join the Samana, and said that let the fool. Then he asked Sariputta and Mokkhalana that what do you think in the world there's more white people or more fool people? So let the fool stay with me and let the white go to join the Buddha. So then Mokkhalana and Sariputta went to the Buddha. So from afar, when the Buddha saw Sariputta and Mokkhalana, and the Buddha said to the bhikkhu that there, O bhikkhu, two companions arrived, Kolita and Upatissa. This will be a pair of true pupil, and most distinguished, a special pair. So they have never met, but the Buddha already know that these two of his disciples will come. So by the Buddha distinguish. So the name of this Sariputta and Mokkhalana, actually their former name Upatissa, right? And Kolita. So when they enter monkhood, and the Buddha ordained for both of them, and when they enter monkhood, they renamed. They got a new name called Sariputta. Sariputta what does this mean, Sariputta?
Son of Sali
The
family.
son of the Sali. So actually, Sali is the name of the Upatissa.
Mother.
Upatissa. So that means at that time people value a lot on mother, right? Yeah. So it's come to an idea that when a person become a monk, is a way to do for one own mother. Yeah. And same as the Kolita. So why he is called Mokkhalana? Because he is the son of the Mokkhala, who is the name, who is his mother. So Sariputta is the son of Sali. Mokkhalana is the son of the Mokkhala. So then they got a new name, Patissa. Sariputta and Mokkhalana went to the place where the Blessed One was. Having approached him, they prostrate themselves, inclining their head to the feet of the Blessed One, and says to the Blessed One, Lord, let us receive the papacha. So they asked to become, they asked for ordination, and the Buddha gave them ordination. Ehi bhikkhu upasambhada. So he said, come bhikkhu, well taught is the doctrine lead a holy life for the sake of the complete extinction of suffering. So this is how the Buddha delivered his words to ordain both Moggallana and Sariputta. Moggallana attained Arahanta. So now Moggallana and Sariputta has the eye of truth, but they're not that yet achieved the arahantaship yet. So they have to work on practice. And the Moggallana, he encountered the hindrance that he couldn't attain arahantaship. It's come to be like in how Moggallana attained the arahanthood. He had to overcome the hindrance, that is dosing. Dosing is one of the 5 hindrances in the teaching of Buddha, especially if you practice meditation, you will encounter, Buddha said, it's 5 hindrances. The first hindrance is like hatred, pleasure, sloth, doubt, and restlessness. And dosing is sloth or sleepiness. So Sariputta, he felt very sleep, the thoughtful and sloth, disturbed his mind that he couldn't have that a clear mind. So in this text, he said at one time the Blessed One was living in the Deer Park, in the Basakala forest among the Sansumara peak in the Baga country. At that time, Venerable Moggallana was dosing. So he was disturbed by sloth and sleepiness. Seat in the Kalawala Buddha village in Makata. The Blessed One saw with his purifying heavenly eye. Then beyond human, Venerable Moggallana dosing seed in the Kalawala Buddha village. Then, as a strong man would stretch his bent arm or bend his stretched arm, the Blessed One disappeared from the Deer Park in the Besakala forest among the Sansumara peak in the Baga country, and appeared before Venerable Moggallana in the Kalawala Buddha village in Makata. The Blessed One sat on the prepared seat and said. So here the Buddha, he had that supernatural power that could see that the Venerable now he encountering the dosing and hindrance. His mind take over by hindrance. And Buddha used his psychic power by stretch his hand and disappear where the Moggallana staying. And said to Moggallana, you should not abide in that perception. So it means that you should not follow and practice with that thinking and practicing. Abide in which you were overcome by that sluggishness. You should not attain the abide in that perception much. There is a possibility for that sluggishness to disappear if you abide us. So he said that is it possible to overcome the sloth or sluggishness? So how to clear his mind? Because now he bothered by dosing. Abiding in this manner, if that sluggishness does not disappear, you should think and discriminately think about the teaching. So it means that if you're sleepy while you're practicing meditation, So consider more about the teaching, think about the teaching. So this you can apply when you practice meditation. So instead of focus on the meditation object, the Buddha advised the Moggallana to think about the teaching, maybe what you have learned, what you have heard. And he said, if the dosing is not disappear, so what the Buddha continue to advise is to you should recite in detail the teaching, think even deeper. So trying to detail in the teaching, and if you already think in detail and the sleepiness is not disappear yet, and the Buddha continue and advise Moggallana that to pull both ear, to pull both ear and rub the body with both hands, to pull ears and rub the body to awake the body. And if the sleepiness is not disappear, then the Buddha advise that you should get up from the seat. So you should not continue practice sitting meditation. You should get up and watch your eyes. So what we basically do when we sleepy, and Buddha advised to watch your face and look in the different direction, and should look at the constellation of star. So at night, so looking up to the sky and see different direction and the star in the sky. And if the sleepiness or sluggishness not disappear, does not disappear, the Buddha continue to advise that you should attain to the sign of light. So now you have to visualize. So you have to visualize the light as the attend to the perception of day at day, so the night as the night, so the day. So it's like when it's dark or at night. So you have to visualize about the daytime, the light of the daytime. Then open and recover the mind should be developed. So if the sleepiness is not gone, is not disappear yet, Buddha continue again to advise that to determine a walk perceiving the starts and end with the mental faculty. The mental faculty turn inwards. To turn inward. And the mind not allowed to wander. Mental perceiving the star and the mental faculty turned inward and mind not allowed to wander. And last, if you have done all the that's he advised, and finally, if you couldn't bear that sleepiness or sleepiness, finally the Buddha advised Moggallana to sleep, to go and take a nap by turn to the right side, sleeping like a lion. We call the lion posture. You see the Buddha, declining Buddha image, So that is the way how to sleep in the lion posture. Finally, the Buddha allowed to take a nap, but have to sleep with mindfulness. And when wake up, so he should get up from bed immediately, and do not enjoy the sluggish pleasure. So that is the reason why sometimes when we practice the renunciation in the 8 precepts, so novice and who keep the 8 precepts, not allowed to sleep in the thick or too comfortable bed to avoid from sluggishness or sleepiness. So this is the advice to the Buddha advice the Moggallana when he encountered the trouble and sloth. So then Buddha continue to teach Moggallana. Now, Moggallana, you should train this manner. I will not enter family or with the glory of bhikkhu in family. There are various kind of work to be done. When people come, bhikkhu is not attained. Then it occurred to the bhikkhu who has disrupted my friendship in this family. Now these people are not admirable. That's lost in confuse. To confuse is agitation. The agitate are not restrained. The mind of one not restrained is far from concentration. So the Buddha advised that when enter to household family, so monk should isolate, to live with solitude, to avoid conflict and disagreement, and that is can bring or drag the monk far away from concentrated mind. And said, Moggallana, you should train in this manner. I will not enter to the disputes. When is dispute, there is much talk, and then there is much talk, there is agitation. So the agitate are not restrained. The mind of one not restrained is far from concentration. Moggallana, I do not praise or association, either do I depreciate or the association. I do not approve the association between householder. And those gone forth, I appreciate the abounding of the dwelling, which are noiseless, free from human, suitable for solitude and seclusion. So other Moggallana had listened to this teaching, so his mind become clear and his mind up to the vipassana meditation and enter the arahantship. So that's how the Buddha advised the Moggallana to overcome his sleepiness and still he reached to the arahantship. All right, so now time is over. I would take maybe a little more time to finish this chapter. Sariputta attained arahanta. So same now, Sariputta, Moggallana already a arahant, but the Moggallana, he's not yet attained to the arahantship. So there one time, Sariputta, he fanning the Buddha, and he sitting behind the Buddha and fanning. And there were his nephew named Tikkanaka. So it's come to be one of the sutra of the teaching of the Buddha called the Tikkanaka Sutta. So it's a teaching that allows the Sariputta attain the arahantship. So at that time, the Buddha teaching Tikkanaka, who is the nephew of the Sariputta, who have a long nail. And the Buddha teaches Tikkanaka. When Tikkanaka came to the Buddha, and he said to the Buddha that everything is not present to me. So he means everything include the Buddha. So he said everything is not present to me. It's like he would like to not to accept the Buddha, include the Buddha. And the Buddha said that Akivesana is called the Akita. According to this view of you, everything is not present to me. Is that view present to you? So that means if everything is not present to you, that will also should not present to you as well. And the Buddha continued to teach him about the how attaching one's own view can lead to argument, can lead to fighting, can lead to war. And Buddha continued to say that from what is the right view, the Buddha continued to teach Tikanaka about the having the right view on the material body, talking about the nature of the body, that the body is come from 4 primary elements that come from food by mother and father, and support by rice, milk and bread. That's the body grow. So that is the right way to see the body. But having one view is can cause a misunderstanding when our view is not based on the reality. It's subject to change through a brushing and breaking. It's breakable. So the body is not that we call last long. It's changing. It should be reflected as impermanent and present and illness and abscess. It's like an arrow, So when you shoot an arrow, it's go and it's not coming back. So it troubles something, It foreign. It's like that. Is not. We cannot truly become the owner. Breaking apart, it's departs. As void and as not mine. So it's not belong to self. So that is the right view on the material body. When he see this body as impermanent and present and illness and absent arrow, not the mind, the interest of the body, the love for it, and following the needs of the body fed. So that attachment will slightly fade when a person come to realize this true nature of reality of the body. And the Buddha continued to teach the Kiwesana or the Tikanaka. That's the how the Vedana or the sensation also non-self. He said that there are 3 different kind of sensation or feeling. Present feeling, unpresent, and either unpresent or present. So in Pali term, we call Sukha Vedana, Dukha Vedana, and Atukama Sukha Vedana. He said that these 3 sensations are not self, So when we feel certain sensation, we don't have the other 2 sensations, So when we have Sukha Vedana, we don't have the other 2, And when the feeling becomes the Tukha Vedana, we don't have Sukha Vedana and Atukama Sukha Vedana. So, and he said that these 3 feelings is arising because there is a condition and cause, and does not belong to any particular person, and it's arise because there is a cause and condition. So that is by briefly on the teaching on how body and pleasure are not self. So after the Buddha finished his teaching to the Akiwesana or Tikanaka, who the nephew of Sariputra, and he got the eye of truth and become the Sotapanna. And Sariputra, who sitting behind the Buddha, fanning the Buddha, also follow carefully, listen along what the Buddha taught to the Tikanaka, and his eye up to the Vipassana and attain the Arahanthood. So why? So there's many people. Some people ask me why the Sariputra, who has wisdom, who are foremost in wisdom, are take time to attain the enlightened one, to take time to attain the Arahanthood. because most of the white people, they don't believe anything easily or quickly, you know, like Sariputra, you know. So you have to think carefully, and those people who are white, you know, they don't want people to teach them directly. So the Buddha got the trick that, okay, maybe just teach, and at the same time, the Sariputra listening to the teaching. You know? So that is allow his mind to free, and he attained the arahanthood. All right, so that is the overall about the chapter 8. So chapter 8, we talked about the chief disciple of the Buddha. So after later on, after Sariputra and Moggallana attained arahantship, the Buddha designate Moggallana Sariputra as a chief disciple on the right, and designate the Sariputra as a chief disciple on the left. And Sariputra, he is foremost in wisdom. And Buddha said that Sariputra has wisdom as equal as him. So who he listened to the Sariputra, similar to listen to him. And Sariputra, he considered as a chief disciple who foremost in psychic power. And that's later on in many stories, and how he overcome those different group of people who worship and who value on the psychic power and magic, you know. So Moggallana, he's good at doing psychic power and magic. And that is the two chief disciples of the Lord Buddha in this chapter. And next week, we will be continuing and to the next chapter, chapter 9, the Buddha mission at Makati. So we're going to talk about the number 3 disciple of chief disciple of the Lord Buddha, Vanalobho Mahakassapa. And the 3 admonition of the Buddha, or the because the core of the way is like the propaganda, the way how to propagate the teaching of the Buddha, and the 3 different type of ordination. And next week we're going to talk about the 6 different direction, 6 direction that's about the group of the people that we have to associate with in our society. So the Buddha re-taught about the concept of direction. So in the Brahminism, people they're worshiping direction, so they pray to the north, to the east. And the Buddha have the re-concept of worshiping the 6 direction. And we're going to talk about the 6 different direction and relate to the people that we have to associate in our society. And the last one is making offering to God. So we're going to talk about the how can we dedicate the merits or the bunya to those people who pass away, who living to dedicate and share the merit to our relative. So in this chapter. All right, so today, that's all for today. Time is over now. Okay, any question?
พระอาจารย์ last exercise, do you accept my submission? The exercise?
The 5,
6?
6 exercise.
Yes.
At the 6 exercise.
Last week exercise, I submit already, but they didn't acknowledge back. So I'm not sure whether you have accept my exercise already or not.
16, 17 August.
Should be 21st.
Is already received. I already received the.
Okay.
I got the response. Here's already.
Okay.
Okay, so see you again next week. Okay, so let us now pay homage to the Triple J. อะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธภควาพุทธังภควันตังอภิวาเทมิ สวากขาโตภควตาธัมโมธัมมังนัมมัสสามิ สุปฏิปันโนภควโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนามามิ
Thank you พระอาจารย์กราบนมัสการค่ะ
สาธุ
Thank you, Lumpy.
สาธุ
Thank you, Lumpy.
Satu.
Satu.
See you next time.
Satu.